Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I do want to speak about three different things. It's going to be about how we're going to deal with the fact that Alejandro Balde is going to be out for the next 2 or 3 weeks. We're also going to quickly talk about the Barcelona versus Leganes match, but most importantly, I do want to speak about Kylian Mbappé almost breaking somebody's leg, but only receiving a 1-match ban. So first things first, let's quickly talk about the Barcelona versus Leganes game. I do think that overall, Barcelona did what they could. It was an ugly match in my own opinion, but that's because Leganes played very defensively. I mean, Barcelona ended up scoring only 1 goal, and that 1 goal was an own goal. But here's the good news. The fact that Barcelona play ugly matches but still win, it just goes to show that this team is so good that even if we don't play in the way that we want to play, Barcelona still come out with 3 very important points. These were humongous, big points that Barcelona have won. We continue to be at the top of the table with a 4-point difference. There was an ugly match recently, even before that one against Real Betis, and it tied 1-1. Right to that whole game was Barcelona just trying to go through a deep block against Real Betis, a situation where Barcelona usually never go through when they do face Real Betis, but unfortunately on that day Real Betis did not want to play against us, and that is why they executed a low block. The same thing has gone on against Leganes. Leganes did not want to play, they executed a low block, and Barcelona came out with a win. So it's almost as if it's impossible for this team to lose at this point. We either tie or we win when Barcelona are struggling. That is the best news I can give out for today, and it makes me very comfortable knowing that once we go into that match against Borussia Dortmund in this upcoming Tuesday, I do think that even though Barcelona might encounter an ugly match where Dortmund might not want to play against us, Barcelona are still going to come out on top. Now, one of the biggest, most talked about situations about this game was, okay, Alejandro Balde is out. He only played about 25 to 30 minutes. Gerard Martin had to come in, which he played amazing, by the way. But Alejandro Balde, a key player for Hansi Flick, is out for the next 2 or 3 weeks. How is Barcelona going to maneuver away from this and try to deal with the fact that their best left back is no longer going to be with us in very big games, in the upcoming big games? Like, for example, the Dortmund match. We also do face Celta Vigo, Mallorca, and there's a possibility, I would just say a slight possibility, that he might miss the match against Real Madrid, which is going to be the final. That's going to be held on April 26th. That's only 13 days away or 12 days away from right now. And Alejandro Balde might be out for potentially 3 weeks. He's currently working hard. We have heard reports about him already having the training sessions required for him to return as fast as possible, which is good news. But for now, for the next, at the very least, 2 to 3 matches, how is Barcelona going to combat this? And to be honest, I never felt more comfortable. I never felt more comfortable about the left back situation. Even though Balde is not there, the one player that I really do rely on, it is Gerard Martin. And let me tell you, you guys can go back 6 to 7 months ago with videos of me talking about how bad Gerard Martin did play. And to be honest, I own that. I own that statement that I made 6 to 7 months ago. Yes, he is now playing much better, which is the reason why I'm going to applaud the player, because even Gerard Martin stated that yes, he had a very rough few months in the beginning of the season, but he was slowly getting better. And I'm always going to call it out how it is. If a player ends up overperforming and they're getting better, I'm going to call it out. But if a player is downgrading, playing worse and worse, I'm going to call it out. In my opinion, is going to change. That is just how football is. It doesn't make any sense for me to stay with the exact same opinion I had a few months ago, even though the player is performing at a different level. That doesn't make any sense. What is the whole point of talking about football if your statements are always going to be the same? So now I'm here saying that Gerard Martin is a player that I do count on, even though I would have never said that 6 to 7 months ago. Gerard Martin has developed as a player. When I feel like Barcelona is getting counterattacked, the one player that I feel the most comfortable with is Gerard Martin on the left back position, because defensively he is superior. The stats don't lie, the visuals don't lie, and that is just who Gerard Martin is today. Somebody who has very long legs, he can intercept, he can tackle, he's very calm when he does have to face a winger from La Liga or in the Champions League. Very calm. He's not so agitated, trying to anticipate what's going to be his next move. He's really calm, always makes the correct decisions, and I just see a player that has maturity, that has growth in him, and I do think that Gerard Martin is here to stay. And even though he may not be the best, right, final third player, like, would you rather have Balde or Gerard Martin? I would say, okay, Alejandro Balde. Even though he's not the best in the final third, at the end of the day, the defensive game is all I care about for Gerard Martin, especially under this team guided by Hansi Flick, a team that can score a lot of goals with only their forwards and their midfielders. Because we play so high risk and because we play very high up the field, of course, I would be very comfortable with somebody like Gerard Martin. He's really good. And to be honest, in his debut season, he has played 30 matches, but underneath those 30 matches is only like 694 minutes and has provided 1 goal and 3 assists. So every time he's on the pitch, he's very effective. As a matter of fact, not only is Hansi Flick planning to use Gerard Martin as the replacement, but he's also going to have some backups to Gerard Martin in case things don't work out. For example, Hansi Flick is considering on calling up La Masia left back Jofre Torrens, who is 18 years old. And this is according to Moises Llorens. So we're going to be having a total of 2 left backs moving forward for the next 3 to 4 matches. So it is a tough loss. Of course, we never want to lose any of our first team players, but I do feel confident with Gerard Martin. He's going to grow, and let's see how Torrens does in the next 2 or 3 matches. Maybe this could be a blessing in disguise for both players, both Gerard Martin and Torrens. I'm also very eager to see how Gerard Martin does evolve as a player for the next 2 years, because there is some part of me that believes that this guy can easily become our next great left center back, meaning he can be somebody like Guardiola, in my opinion, somebody who can play in the center back positions and also as a left back, because when I see Gerard Martin, he's really tall, okay? Like, he has long legs and he has everything that it takes to become a great center back and to rotate with players like Inigo Martinez, a player who is in his mid-30s. So watch out for that. So let's see how Gerard Martin does evolve as a player. It's going to be very, very exciting. So now moving on towards the last conversation, and I do want to speak about Kylian Mbappe's 1 match ban. So there was a game that happened between Real Madrid and Alavés, and this game was very dirty. Alavés had 1 red card, Real Madrid also had 1 red card. In the front 3, we saw Kylian Mbappé as a striker, Goulet on the right wing position, and Rodrigo on the left wing position. It eventually led towards Kylian Mbappé getting a red card on the 38th minute. And with the way that we saw Kylian Mbappé receive that red card, it was like, okay, yeah, that is a red card. Because if it wasn't, like, bro, oh my god, is this league just so rigged, so in favor of Real Madrid winning La Liga? It should have been a red card, okay? And thank god it was given. Like, I was about to break if I saw the ref say, oh, it's just a yellow card, or oh, it's just a mistake, no card is given. I was about to break, bro. I was about to break my freaking laptop, because the ref was actually thinking about it. Like, for a second, for like 1 to 2 seconds, he was thinking about it, and he was like, okay, what should I give Mbappe? A red card, yellow card? Is Javier Tebas gonna fire me if I give him a red card? But he gave him a red card, and thank god, because like, once again, if he did not do that and he only gave him a yellow, bro, I would have quit La Liga, and I would have just said, you know what, Barcelona, just get out of this stupid league, create the Super League, and get away from this, right? This monster of a league. But either way though, Kylian Mbappé received the red card. He got out. I'm like, dude, you almost ended this guy's career. And it's crazy to see the type of character Mbappe is building right now, because I do see Mbappe much more, I would say, frustrated with what's going on at Real Madrid. And it's not just Mbappe, but I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's been multiple players in this Madrid team that just lose their minds, like in terms of frustration, or in terms of like calling out players, or calling out the refs, or something like that. Like, these players, for some reason, this Madrid group, these kids, these little girls, they complain so much, they get frustrated so much. Mbappe received the red card. We saw him try to break one of the legs of the opposition, something that Mbappe would have never done with, or we have never seen him do under, PSG or with the French national team. Camavinga gets a lot of yellow cards. Bellingham said to one of the linesmen in the match against Osasuna, something that we have never seen Bellingham do, right? So aggressive. Vini, like, if somebody touches him, or if the ref makes a decision against him, Vinicius just says, oh my god, he starts screaming, and he's like, whatever, and like, you see the attitude from him. I'm like, what's going on with Vini, Bellingham, and Mbappe? These players are over aggressive. They act like little girls. They act like if they're 10 years old. Where's the professionalism? What's going on here? Is Ancelotti like giving these players like a spank before the match, and it gets them angry? Like, does Ancelotti like cuss these players out, that makes these players like just aggressive and losing their temper? Like, what's going on here? Where is the professionalism? Then you look at a player like Rudiger constantly loses his mind over and over again over like some defensive decisions, and I'm like, what is this team? What is Real Madrid today? A team that is just pissed off at the fact that they cannot play together, and that's the reason why they lose their tempers, because when the ref does not help them, they lose their temper? Or like, what's going on here? It's stupid. It's dumb. And I find it insane to know that Mbappe only received a 1 match ban for this action that he has taken, when you see somebody like Lewandowski receiving a 3 match ban for touching his nose. That has been one of the biggest conversations everybody has had on the media, is the fact that this league is so inconsistent, so in favor of Madrid not getting punished, that we just see these things and we're like, this doesn't make any sense. Why should a team like Barcelona play in this league where we know that low-key these refs, the people who own this league, want to see Real Madrid flourish? Because I find it so hard to understand why a player like Mbappe would receive a 1 match ban after almost ending somebody's career with that tackle, right? Leg to leg is disgusting. And then you see somebody like Lewandowski receiving a 3 match ban, 3 times more than Mbappe, only because he touched his nose. Let me tell you guys, I think, in my opinion, based off the logic of what La Liga give out and what they do, Mbappe should have been given a 5 match ban. There has been some people that have stated that, they're like, oh no, Kevin, you don't think that's too much? Like, maybe five matches being out for Mbappe, that's too much, Kevin, come on. Like, you're overreacting. I'm not overreacting. I'm going going based off the logic that La Liga give out. For example, if Mbappe's action was worse, which we all agree it was, if Lewandowski receives a 3-match ban, Mbappe should have received a 5-match ban. It should have. Now, if we never saw Lewandowski get punished for touching his nose, maybe he just received a 1-match ban and that's it. Maybe something light. Like, okay, like he's out, 1-match ban, that's it. Or he just never received anything, then I would have never told you that Mbappe should receive a 5-match ban. I would have told you, okay, because Mbappe's situation is worse than Lewandowski, if Lewandowski just received a warning or a 1-match ban, then Mbappe should just receive a 2-match ban. Just a 2-match ban and that's it. Nothing more than that. I would have been way nicer. But based off the logic that La Liga is giving us, and they tell us 3-match ban for Lewandowski, but then you tell us 1-match ban for Mbappe, I don't understand that logic. I just don't. Because Lewandowski did not try to end somebody's career. Mbappe's situation is much worse. And then, like, bro, like, let's go to Bellingham. Bellingham received a 2-match ban for the comment that he made against one of the linesmen in the match against Osasuna, a 2-match ban. Where is the logic there? How is somebody like Lewandowski going to receive a 3-match ban for touching his nose, did not insult or curse out one of the refs or the linesmen, but somebody like Bellingham, who cursed out the linesman, received a 2-match ban, which is less than Lewandowski's? I don't understand the logic there. That is the thing that pisses me off the most. Is like, bro, at least be consistent, please. The people who work in this league, the refs, the people who make these decisions, be consistent, please, because all you're gonna do is make us think that you guys want to see Real Madrid flourish and try to minimize the punishment of Madrid and over amplify the punishment for FC Barcelona. But that is it, right? Like, nothing more. I'm not gonna like go too much into it because at the end of the day, let's focus on us, and we're doing really good. Like, when I try to be positive, I think about how Barcelona is actually playing and nothing more. Forget about what's going on with Real Madrid and whatever decisions that they're trying to do to help Real Madrid. Whatever, dude. Like, whatever. Just get out of my face with like all this stupidity. I'm done. Let's just focus on back to Barcelona. We have a match that's coming up on Tuesday. Very important. Let's get this win and nothing more. Visca Barça. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.